Hi, Hugo Reed. I have something special for 4th and 5th graders. I just have some books to highlight as we head into Black History Month in February. These are some that you might want to think about checking out. We have a lot of really good, and I just picked a few of them. If you're searching though, you can always search. One of your things that you can put on the search is African American, and it'll bring up all kinds of really good books. So let me just highlight a few. I pulled out specifically quite a few of the biographies. So get ready, here we go. Misty Copeland, ballerina. This would be a good one to request. She was the first African American woman to become a prima ballerina in the United States. What's so great about George Washington Carver? We have several books about George Washington Carver. He was a scientist, really interesting things that he discovered. And if you're looking into some African American history, he is a good one to read about. An actual photo of him as a young man. Mahalia Jackson, Walking with the Kings and Queens. She was a singer, renowned in her time. So Mahalia Jackson. Alvin Alley, a little bit more current. He is a choreographer and a dancer. A choreographer is someone who makes up the dances. Really well known, and this one is illustrated by Brian Pinkney and written by Andrea Davis Pinkney, who are some really good authors and illustrators. You'll see their work in some other things too. So here's a good one about a dancer. Coming Home. We've seen a lot about poetry with the election and the inauguration. Langston Hughes, who this book is about, was a very early poet. He has some great works, and I may read some of his next week on our read alouds, but Coming Home, Langston Hughes. Ella Fitzgerald, very well-known singer from quite a long time ago. Good one to read. Another poetress, even lived longer ago, Phyllis Waitley. This one is an interesting one because she lived in the times of slavery. And at that time, not only were Black people not treated well, they weren't educated. They didn't let them learn to read and write. It was against the law. But her masters, the people who owned her, which is a horrible thing, but they taught her to read and write, and she actually ended up being very educated and being a poetess. So she's a very interesting historical figure. She accomplished a lot at a time it was really, really difficult. Jackie Robinson, you've probably heard about, from Pasadena originally, broke all kinds of color barriers, and this is one of the Who Was series. Good one to read about. And you probably know Venus and Serena Williams, great tennis players that are sisters. And these two I bet you've also heard of because they're current. Steph Curry and LeBron James, and part of the Epic Athletes series. So those are just a few of them. Another one to look up if you're looking for some really interesting history is anything about the Tuskegee Airmen. I'll probably be reading this one next week aloud, so tune in for that. But if you're doing a search and would like to learn a little bit more, this is a fascinating history. Tuskegee Airmen, great one to look up. So those are just a few suggestions for you. I hope you have a great week. Keep reading. Bye-bye.